while that was going on, I thought I'll hit him here because hopefully it'll be a bit of a distraction. I'm at 19,000, we're both at 19 at that moment. So here you go, I'm trying to get my tanks up front, and I'm kind of like, oh right, my opponent's actually got a strong presence here, and I'm not pleased about that.
Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game. We're on Scorched Earth for this one. I'm using Russia. My opponent's using Ukraine for this game. This was my first game of the day, actually, and out of most of the games, to be fair, that I've played, this is actually one of the better ones. I haven't played that many games today. So this is the one I've chosen to post first. My opponent's gone for a dog. 2 dogs, and they've sold the kennel and placed a barracks. So their dogs, obviously hunting engineers, they've been given a rag that smells of engineer. And that's what they're going for. Look, there you go, that's the scent trail. So I've got to watch for dogs this time. And there you go, there's my engineer. And I send 2 rifles this way, and they secure my closest oil derrick. And now they move forward to go and check out what the enemy are up to. Now my opponent's moved the dog back, because they'll have the better view range from the dog. I really like that. His troops are firing. There you go. And that was good. I didn't get any of their units. That was very interesting, the way they did that. You know, I say you're always going to be rewarded for more detailed micro. That's just the way I see it. And my soldier was close to getting that engineer, very close. But I've fallen back because I saw my opponent attacking before I could even see them. So I knew there had to be a dog involved. And in fact, I think I saw one. I caught a glimpse of it. So I pulled my troops back here so I can use the view range of the oil derrick. Look, this is what I can see. So if my opponent tries to move through here, I've got a bit of view range benefit. I can at least open fire and at least match the dog's view range. My opponent can see this. There's the dog. There you go, look, we're trying to size each, and I've taken the dog out. Now my opponent's at a disadvantage. They would be wise not to press that attack. You see, he knows he's good enough. And I'm now thinking, oh look, the dog's up there. The second dog, so he's actually going to group that dog with these guys. Very nice. I like that. And the engineer's moving behind to take advantage of what these guys are doing. So now I can... I've got to pull the engineer away. So I'm not sure what to do here, you see. I'm moving some units back. I don't want rocket soldiers getting caught. But at the same time, I need to do something. I can't just sit back in my base and defend against something, an attack that may not even be coming. I didn't know he was here. But I'm moving forward to secure my opponent's base. Oil derrick, sorry, the one closest to their home base. I didn't want them to see my infantry, so I've kept them hopefully out of view range. I think they'll see them, actually. Let me see. It looks like... Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just. I told you. Just. And there you go. There's my opponent moving this way. And I caught the dog. I knew it. And I'd just got my vehicle. So I thought I can catch this force here. I saw the engineer. Shot the engineer. And now these troops are doomed. They're actually firing some shots at my APC. But it's too late no matter what they do. My opponent's got their APC. There's the capture, so I've got the view range benefit, but I know I have to get back, because if I've got an APC, my opponent has as well. I'm trying to bring these, any rocket soldiers I can up to the front. I've only got a couple, and my opponent's causing mayhem here. But I've got 1 rocket soldier brought up, and I've got the view range benefit of the oil derrick. There you go. Now my opponent has to get out there. I could have actually pressed that attack. Maybe taken out an oil derrick. I mean a power plant, perhaps. Oh no, look, there's 3 rocket soldiers. So that's, yeah. Good job, I wasn't so reckless. But there you go, my opponent's got another engineer. And have I lost mine? And that's why I'm destroying the hospital. Yeah, my opponent's going for this one. I haven't captured mine yet. In fact, my opponent has. That's not very good. Yeah, I've lost my engineer as it moved this way. Hopefully that was caught on screen. I think he was going in this direction somewhere. But here you go, look, my opponent's got a heck of a force of rocket soldiers there. They want to destroy my first vehicles. There's my MCV, my second MCV. So I've got my expansion going, and I'm going to use this force and keep it in the field and actually wait for this expansion, because I've got my expansion on the way. So it's a fair bet, look, that my opponent also does. So even though it was the first game of the day and I wasn't warmed up, that's a hint of, you know, gameplay. And that's what it is. There you go. Look, I can't see any of this. Look at that. I can't see any of this. I just know he's here trying to distract me or something. But rather than rush there, I thought, well, hang on a minute. I actually think I'm better off stopping my opponent's first expansion. So I just waited. I didn't want to kick anything off like too soon. And I was thinking, look, hopefully there's like an eco transfer. Look, there's my eco transfer. That's what I'm waiting for. And going by your timing won't lead you far wrong. And I saw that and thought, well, hang on a minute, where do you think you're going, mate? Because I'm not going to let you run off. And there you go, I've taken out, sent the ore trucks fleeing. One's nearly destroyed, and I destroyed the refinery, and then thought, well, hang on a minute, I don't want to overdo it. So, and rush into base defences. I haven't got many rocket soldiers, look, there's about 4 or 5 there. So this is my main focus, keeping forces here, and I can see that my opponent is showing me exactly where his forces are. I'm at 14,000 army value, my opponent's at 13. And look, I knew he was approaching this way, so I'm keeping my base solid. But this was one decision I decided to make, was to look in case he had rushed an expansion over here. Now, he couldn't have done, because I was going by the timing of my first expansion to catch him out and his eco transfer, so it was stupid me doing that, really. Although, you never know. He might have moved it. He could have done with his home base, but MCV. But no, it was bad thinking. That move there wasn't right. Now, my opponent, for some reason, is looking over here. And I think he's searching for my expansions. But, or maybe this lot. But, yeah, it was, that's a nice move from my opponent. He's very smart doing that, because he's got no clues as to where my force is. So, well played to him. And I was waiting for his eco transfer, his ore trucks and another eco transfer, and I'm catching some units out, look, but now he's got his tanks in position. That's the end of that. And there you go, I lost that force. But while that was going on, I thought I'll hit him here, because hopefully it'll be a bit of a distraction. I'm at 19,000, we're both at 19 at that moment. So here you go, I'm trying to get my tanks up front, and I'm kind of like, oh right, my opponent's actually got a strong presence here, and I'm not pleased about that, because I haven't got an MCV. I chose to attack more sooner rather than wait for strength and wait for the assets, but I've ordered my units to destroy everything as they go. I'm not fighting amongst his structures. But look, he's got all this back. This is the moment I should have turned back and run, because I can't see all this, don't forget, but now I know, and that's it. I was a few moments too late. But this force I treat separate. I thought, right, hang on a minute, and I knew he could see them, so I had to do something. I couldn't like go and attack here, because I knew he'd just turn around, so I destroyed that's something, and then I got to get them out of there. And I kind of had my hands full at this moment. This force I thought I was going to attack with. Well, this force retreats. This force was going to be a small eco raid and retreat. And I'm trying to group all my units to receive these with an ambush and kill them. Well, this force that he'll probably be able to see. Yes, he can. He knows it's coming. So he can stop that, but whatever. I just had to try and do something, and that's a distraction anyway. It's drawing units away. He could have sent these to reinforce this and been a big major attack, but instead it's a force I can definitely handle. So that distraction, sometimes you reveal your units on purpose. It's just how it is. Sometimes you should do, because it's the art of war, and it's how you pull your enemy apart at crucial moments. And I'm defending that. I know I've got it, and I've got this attack on here. Right. So we've got base defense, and I didn't destroy the power plant, sadly. That's not good, but I've defeated my opponent here. He's falling back with some assets, and my vehicles are lagging behind, so this base defense is a threat. But I've lost this force. That's 2 armies I've lost, but it's left me with 12,000 army value, 12, excuse me, and my opponent at 9,000, so it was fairly effective. And I'm launching this attack here, which is a bit reckless. But I wanted to get an eco raid. And I saw this and saw my opponent place the war factory, which distracted me. I'm trying to bring up an MCV look, and I had to dodge base defences. My opponent hasn't got tanks, which is what kept me in this attack. Not great. And now I'm drawing everything in. This is desperate. And I'm putting like everything I can into this attack, basically. And my opponent's got very little, but is using it perfectly. You know, a few rocket soldiers, base defences. He's building infantry back here for extra strength, so I can't push any further, because I can't push as it is against 3 infantry, a tank and a base defence, so I'm not going to manage against this in the view range of that. Not good at all. And now my opponent's attacking here where I've drawn my units away, so this is immediately I'm going to fall back, but I don't mind too much. I've dropped off the ore from that, and these assets are retreating. I've mined out this, so it's not the end of the world losing that, plus it keeps these units busy. Look at the flame towers. So I'm now trying to build up a force here. Excuse me, my mouth's getting dry, causing me to slur a bit, excuse me, but I'm using my base defences. I had to stop the attack because, you know, I can't continue like that. But my opponent's repaired his first war factory, and after that I had to fall back. I invested a fair bit in destroying that war factory and an attempt to destroy this one. So it's not great, but I'm at 5,000 army value, my opponent's at 13,000, so I'm trying to find somewhere else to get some cash from. I'm struggling, and I've set my sights on this, but I know I'm kind of pushing it, really, hoping for that. But I have to do something, and if I do take it, it's also taking it away from my opponent. So, yeah, I had to try and do something. There's my 2 MCVs moving, both at once, so I wasn't building at that point. That's better. Right, so my opponent's got an attack here, but with no vehicles. So I should be able to stop it. I'm preparing for an attack here, look. And my opponent's got 5 heavy tanks on the prowl, looking for expansions and going on eco raids. There you go, that was a lovely shot. I thought, I hope that's your first plane, mate. And it looks like it was. That's exactly what I thought. And there you go, there's a lovely eco raid, smashing his harvesters. Even though he's hard-mined this out, it's still... You can't really go wrong destroying ore trucks. You can soon move them somewhere else and let that regrow, and it'll come and it'll be another expansion later. But this time when I attacked, he's got nothing here. He's got barracks, but here you go, there's this force. And I was struggling because I was trying to handle this, repair this, handle an army up there, and then give the command to get the MCV out of there. And I fumbled it. And I know I can defeat this force because I've got vehicles and view range on them, and then I'm overrunning him here, so that's another eco raid against my opponent. And I didn't want to destroy that, I wanted to capture it, but my opponent sold up. So that was a nice hit, and then I've immediately brought my MCV back so I can set up an expansion here. But I'm not building. My opponent just destroyed that. And that was a fumble and something I struggled with. I wanted to get that MCV that was here and get it straight out of there and set it up here so I can still continue to defend this, because I'm going to need these mines here, these ore mines. And I'm at 11,000 army value, my opponent's at 22, and that was like a major effort to do that. And now it's done. I'm kind of exhausted what strength I had, and my opponent's hitting me. Look, when probably those other 5 tanks that were on the prowl have joined the rest of his army. He's got more than double the army value, so now I'm kind of having to give up territory and assets for time. This force is doomed. I shouldn't have left them there, and I realised too late that they were there, and the engineer's in danger. And I'm ordering them back and ordering the engineer away, and there, look, I've secured that. I'm trying to set up my eco raid here, but look, there's a heavy tank in the way. And these 2 riflemen and 1 rocket soldier were there to deal with that, kill that heavy tank, although it's just survived. But I've got a capture here, and my opponent sent a plane to stop it. I needed that. It wasn't nice at all, at least I shot the guy down. He's gonna get his head kicked in when he lands, straight away, that guy. My forces will be angry. They're gonna go hungry now. Look, and bad news from the rest of the front. You know, I'm trying to get away with my assets, look. My tanks, my engineer, my ore trucks, I'm losing everything. You know, battered Conyard. My forces falling back. Everything fell apart all of a sudden. It was a good scrap, but that's what I'm thinking now. It was a good fight, but look at this. I'm falling back everywhere, attempting to regroup, trying to build a refinery. But look, I've got 4 ore trucks. Let's check the economy situation. I've got 1,500, just a bit more, but I want this engineer and I want to capture that. I wonder what I did. Let's see if I eventually ordered it. Yeah, look, I've ordered it too. So my opponent will be able to see that, but there's still mining. Oh, look at that. My opponent's on his way. 29,000 army value my opponent's at, and I'm at 8,600, and it's not rising, it's staying the same, it's not, you know. But I'm stealing the oil, Derek. Look, here we are. There's a fight. Base defences on the go. Tanks. And that's it. I've just not... Look at all those rockets. I'm doomed. And now he's hitting this. That was it. And it now became clear. I'm still fighting for everything. And that. I've got, you know... And there's my engineer making a run for it. But, you know, it became clear now that the fun is over. And I had to call it to be sporting and to be fair and save my opponent time. That's when you call it. So yeah, great game and well done. And that was the first thing I said to my opponent. Look, well done, good game, because it was a good fun game. I nearly had it, like, and I did say I thought I had a chance at one point because it was a good game. I was doing some nice eco raids. I caught a nice eco raid here and then one straight after and then set up here. But I think if I'd have held on to my MCV down there, I just had too much on at the same moment, and it happened twice. There was 2 points in this game where I had a lot on, like during attacks and things. And I don't know if my opponent timed it like that on purpose. I know they're a skilled player, so it was quite likely that they did do that on purpose. Like so I had my hands full. But there were 2 occasions during that game where I had my hands full that much it made a difference and cost me, and I struggled to handle it. So there's some more. It wasn't a long game, but it was, you know, it was a decent one, and it wasn't a short game. So it was a good bit of practice, a good game, a fairly close one in some aspects. But let's have a look at the army graphs and everything. Yeah, look at that. I was doing okay at one point. I just need to maintain my early strength, and I still haven't got doing my grenadier drops as often as I used to. That would be nice. I could take out these quite quickly and it would shrink their army size overall. They wouldn't have as many units because they would be at low power a couple of times. So I need to start fitting my grenadier drops back into my gaming, because I'm getting other elements quite good, and I've faced off against a good player here and did fairly well and got a good game out of it. So just adding a few more elements and a little more skill and practice, and you could never have enough practice. It should help and should make a lot of difference, you know. And then those moments where I feel like I've got my hands full, shouldn't matter so much. I should be able to keep maintaining my orders at exactly the same pace and keep calm and do it properly. And keeping calm when things look difficult, that's actually an important part of this game. A very important part of how you play and how you play well. When you're under attack and it looks like you're in trouble, you need to stay calm and maintain your procedures. That's actually quite an important tip and good advice that you don't hear often, but that when things are going bad, you can't get manic and feel like your hands are full. That's why it cost me. You need to stay calm. You know, I can't put it any simpler than that. But there's the earnings graph, and my opponent, look, took off there in the middle. I would like to have had some thief infiltrations. I just couldn't get up to the tech level. I was struggling with refineries as it was, and my opponent's finishing army. He's got plenty of tanks, look, an APC and decent amount of troops. 31,000 army value my opponent had at the end, but I lost 32 structures. My opponent lost 15. So that's a decent scrap in that sense. A lot of structures lost. I killed 260 units. My opponent killed 310. So well done to them. I destroyed 65,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets. My opponent destroyed 92,000 credits worth of mine. So that wasn't good for me, and my opponent's got their support powers counting down. But I think at one point when I went on this eco raid and I shot a plane with my rocket soldiers and I said, I hope that's his first plane. I think it was, and so like the 5-minute timer hasn't quite counted down yet, although it is only 27 seconds away from being able to use his parabombs. So, and also the paratroopers, yeah, so it was about just under 5 minutes ago he obviously got his airfield fair enough. Right, production is still building barracks, troops, heavy tanks. As I always say, you can't go wrong with a good old heavy tank. And they've hung on to an oil derrick there, but at least I did take this one back from them. It was a little late though, but they've got 6 ore trucks at the end. That's not bad. I earned 100,000 credits. My opponent earned 117,000 credits. So we both did okay for earnings, but I just needed to maintain my income, and I didn't. I couldn't get set up quick enough, and once I lost one of my MCVs, that was it. I couldn't keep up the pace after that. You know, I managed to keep a bit of cash, but, you know, my opponent was so much better off, a lot better income and that. So there's the economy. I was at 32 actions per minute, my opponent was at 30. And there's your scores, 692 to me, 928 to my opponent. And there's all your basic scores and graphs and charts. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you did like what you saw here in this replay, then give us a sub and a like. And I hope everyone did enjoy it. I did myself. It was a fun game. Shame I didn't finish the guy off, but, you know, I couldn't manage it. The best guy, you know, the player that did the best won. That was just plain and simple, so fair play to him. And thank you again for watching. Take good care of yourselves, and until next time, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.